Two Guys, One Reel podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Two Guys, One Reel podcast with your host Anthony.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're here today to do a breeze through of Ironheart.
Yes. So this is the miniseries from Disney Plus or Hulu, depending on where you are. Mm-hmm. And this is about Riri Williams. And we're going to do a bit of a breakdown with episodes 1, 2, 3. And we'll give our thoughts, and then we'll go on to 4, 5, 6.
That's right.
So, starting with episode 1, which is Take Me Home, which is MIT student Riri Williams builds an advanced armor suit inspired by Tony Stark. While dealing with challenges as a young black woman in tech, she confronts a tech-based threat and must decide if she's ready to become Ironheart. And then we have episode 2. Will the real Natalie please stand up? Ri's new AI dredges up painful memories ahead of her ahead of her first heist with Parker and his crew. And then to round off the first half, we have episode 3, We Endanger Girl. Ri is uncomfortable being part of Parker's crew. She only has 2 more heists, and she only wants to do 2 more, and then she wants out.
That's right.
So, Anthony, what did you think of the first couple episodes, 1, 2, 3?
So obviously, like when I started watching it, I just thought I was overcome by this feeling that Riri is very, like, while she's smart, she's very unlucky. And I think, like, bad luck follows her everywhere. And, like, but you can't mistake that how much of a genius she is. Because obviously she was introduced, for people who don't know, she was introduced in Wakanda Forever. And so she did kind of a mentorship under Shuri in Wakanda. And so this is how people became familiar with her. So this is grounded and centered in her hometown of Chicago. And so, yeah, like watching it, like I said, I just felt like she has like a real shadow over her. Like she's very unlucky, despite everything that she does. And trouble follows her.
Yeah, and what I find with 1, 2, 3, I don't know, like she helped out Shuri at Wakanda and all that, but then she comes back to Chicago, and she doesn't have money.
Yeah,
she doesn't have any wealth, or not wealth, but like she just doesn't. She's like, it felt like the people in Wakanda kind of left her out to dry.
Yeah.
Like, where's the help? It's kind of weird how that,
Exactly, because, like, again, Wakanda have endless wealth, and you'd think that there would have been, like, something that would have been done for her going home. And, like, Dominic Thorne, who plays Riri Williams, plays her amazing. Because, again, she attracts the wrong attention. Obviously, at school or university that she's at, like, she's really pushed her luck. And, like, with all the advances in technology and everything that she's doing, she's pushed everything to its limit and got on her teachers' nerves. And they've been more than gracious with her, giving her multiple warnings that she's basically overstepping her ground, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you with that one. And with the interjection of sort of like a little past with her father and her best friend Natalie, who, had an unfortunate ending with their lives.
Yeah, that's right.
But what do you think of Parker's crew, or Parker himself and his crew?
Well, obviously, when we meet Parker, and obviously he's played by Anthony Ramos, and a great actor, and obviously when you meet him, he's very mysterious, and obviously he's a leader, and he's very focused on what he wants, and the crew that he's kind of developed in this, made up of different personalities, and they got one mission, and it's about power. He wants money, he wants power, he wants control.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, all they want is wealth, power, and they just want everything to, he just wants Parker himself just wants to be the top guy,
Yeah.
And with his crew, I felt they were okay. They were all right. A little bit weird with the two security ones. I forgot their names.
The kind of like a bit butch.
Yeah,
Like that's,
they're a bit. Yeah,
it's Jerry and I think Ronnie.
Yep.
And obviously you got Ronnie, you got Clown, Rampage, Slug, and Roz.
Yep. And Slug's the techie.
Yeah.
Well, the bunch, the other two are the which we got this like the muscle of the group.
The muscle, muscle,
yeah.
They've all got their specialities that they're good at.
Yeah.
And
and with with overall 1, 2, 3, I just the show was a bit of a rough start. I felt with episode 1.
Yeah.
Was a little bit, I don't know,
obviously,
just a little bit
takes a bit of time to get off the ground because obviously they obviously wanted to make sure that we knew that Riri is the focus, but developing the characters around her, especially after seeing Gary, her stepfather, and Natalie, unfortunately, meet their end, and it's Riri not really dealing with the trauma of their death, and also not really confronting problems that she faces. She kind of comes across a problem, kind of pushes it to the side, and keeps going, never addressing it, which is what is one of her main problems. Yeah,
I do like. Yeah, it does come across like that. Yeah, she just doesn't want to face. She just wants to find a quick fix.
And this is what kind of pushes her in the direction of Parker because, as you touched on, she doesn't have money.
No.
And she doesn't have resources. When, basically, when she comes into contact with Parker, he kind of offers her, hey, this is going to give you money. It's going to give you opportunity and resources. And while Riri needs it because she wants to build her, her iron suit, so, taking him up on that opportunity, she kind of is not really seeing that it's going to lead to more problems.
Yeah, which also I felt was pretty interesting that they went that way. Is that Riri is a genius?
Yeah,
she can invent things.
Yeah,
and why didn't she invent something that made her money?
Yeah,
it's a bit weird.
Obviously, she gets asked a number of times throughout the first 3 episodes, why is she doing this? And she keeps saying because she can. And you'd think that at one point she says that if she builds the perfect suit, then it'll be able to help people, but she doesn't help herself. She's always trying to do something, but again, never addressing the problems that she's currently facing.
Yeah, exactly. And also with episode 3, we are introduced to Joe.
Yes.
Who is a guy who can get black market things.
Yeah, and he's played by Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes. And he's the guy who played, who was Han Solo, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which I thought I'd seen that.
A nice surprise, actually.
Which was really interesting. I was like, okay, that's cool. But Joe is he's a very quirky guy when you first meet him. He's very cautious. He's a very cautious guy.
Very reluctant.
Yes. And he's basically scared of getting caught.
Yeah, he's good at covering his tracks and stuff.
Yeah. Because where did he get the tech from? Did they mention that?
No.
Or did he just get it from whatever?
I think it gets alluded to later on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just didn't pick up on that straight away.
yeah,
But with the first half, 1, 2, 3, it's very mixed bag for me with rating, like, because I want to rate 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6.
mm.
The first half I think was mid.
Yeah, and then like obviously as they get thrown into these missions that Parker sends them on, and obviously Riri's not telling anyone what she's doing. Like she's not telling her family
No.
what she's involved in, which is gonna cause trouble for her too.
Yeah.
And these missions are quite dangerous.
Mm.
And obviously it's to take down large companies, which leads to a lot of money, obviously. But it's again, like I said, it's about Parker wanting to consume this power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously you see the skills of all the different members of this crew. You know, and obviously we see that Riri is very reluctant to be part of this as well.
Yes. She doesn't want to be a bad person.
No,
That's her thing. She wants to do good, but she doesn't want to hurt people, but she just gets mixed up with the wrong people.
that's right.
And what was your opinion overall? Like, what would you feel like it's a mid 1, 2 with episodes just 1, 2, 3 the first half? Did you like it or did you not?
I liked it. Like again, like I feel like the unfortunate thing about this is that they do such a job about establishing her. There's a lot of detail not explained in about certain things, and again, like because I think also the show itself got lost in the weeds, and a lot of people are either unaware of it or it's been missed with all the promotion and everything like that for like Superman, and it's not getting the traction that it should.
Yeah.
And like this should be a hard hitting, well received series because obviously this is to set up events later on, and again they need eyes on this, especially being produced by Ryan Coogler and being led by a young African American actress and a established cast. Again, it's not getting the attention that it should, and
No.
like
So,
again, obviously it had a big task. You know, this first 3 episodes.
yes, and I just felt it was a bit strange. I don't know. I feel like Ironheart is for people that are into the Marvel world more deeply. As someone like me, I'm not fully aware. I'm aware of most characters in the world,
Yeah,
but some I'm not. And I just
yeah,
feel like this is more towards those deeper people,
mm-hmm.
which for me, I'm just like, okay. For someone as a casual watcher of all the films and some of this TV series, it kind of gets lost with me
Yeah,
in ways, which is not, it's just the way it is. Like, I feel
yeah.
like Marvel is going towards that, hardcore fans.
Like, did you find yourself asking the question, like, is this really necessary? Like, is this show really, like, do they really need to make this?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
aware. Like I said, I was with the first half. I was just like, I don't. Why?
Yeah, kind of like a slow burn.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's Riri. The actress herself is fantastic. She does pretty good.
yeah.
But I just don't know if it's the writing. It just didn't come to me as impactful. I was just like, okay, you know.
I was intrigued by Parker because obviously he's mysterious, and then obviously you obviously over this first 3 episodes you learn that he wears a hood that which is kind of otherworldly. It kind of helps influence his influence on the crew, but also it's unexplained, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah, but
which
it's
needs to be. Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
dark. There's very dark power in this hood that he wears.
yeah. All right. So we'll move on to the second half now,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel is the better.
Yeah, I would agree.
So we have 3 more episodes. So we got episode 4, which is Bad Magic. So when Parker suspects Riri of wrongdoing, she knows she has to figure out a source of his powers. And then we have episode 5, Karma's a Glitch. Riri sets out to create a suit unlike anything she has ever attempted, but at what cost? And then the final episode is episode 6, Past is in the Past. Or Past is the Past. Riri builds her most powerful suit yet, but she's unaware if it's enough to beat Parker in the hood.
Yeah.
And a little precursor, people, this is going to be very spoilerish.
Yes.
So if you don't want to hear about it, you want to watch it, go finish it off if you haven't already. I mean, it's been plastered everywhere over the internet about what's happened, but we're just trying to give you that chance. If you do want to get more in depth, go see it first, then come back and have a listen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely does, because obviously, as you alluded to with the introduction of episode 4, we're coming off the fact that Riri had been on a mission with the crew, and Joe, one of the crew, he. Oh, no,
well, he's not. He's not. No, you're right. He's not one of the crew.
He's
per
not
se.
one of the crew, but
No.
like he's mysterious, but like he helps Riri in a way. But then, because Parker's suspicious of Riri after the fact that one of the members got killed during a mission, as he got trapped, and so then that was Rampage, who was played by Eric Andre. Oh wait, hold on. No, Eric Andre got killed. Or Rampage got killed earlier in episode 3, I believe it was.
I think it was either
episode 2 or
near
3.
the episode 2. You alluded that there was a thing where Rampage was killed. It was on the news.
Yeah,
and they weren't sure of who. So
yeah, and then like so cousin John, who was part of the crew, he ends up getting trapped in one of the buildings during a mission.
Yes,
and so Parker can't handle the fact that John's dead.
Yep.
And because Riri came back without him, it kind of put a lot of focus on the fact that like there was suspicion. But then Riri learned from cousin John that Rampage had been killed. It had been rubbed out, and they kind of faked his autopsy, basically to get rid of him. And we obviously learned that Parker was responsible, but which is kind of crazy. But then obviously you realize that Parker's being influenced by a dark force, which obviously we learn later on.
Yeah.
Well, it's going into spoilers.
Yeah, we're in spoiler territory anyway, so might as well just say what their influence is.
Mephisto.
Yes.
And Mephisto has been teased throughout the Marvel films, and influence and dark forces, and so the fact that Mephisto has finally been surfaced in Ironheart, played what I feel masterfully by Sacha Baron Cohen. Like I was seeing him, and I'm thinking it explains a lot of Parker's behavior, and then obviously, Mephisto basically, is there for his own purposes, and so if Parker sold his soul to get the hood, and then obviously you've seen by this point, Riri has experienced Natalie becoming her AI, and still not dealing with the fact that she's dead, and she is her artificial intelligence, and then dealing with her family, also becoming aware of what she's doing and the risks involved, and obviously Joe, we learn, is actually the son of
Yes.
Obadiah Stane, and I was
Yes.
shocked by that.
I was too. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and then
That's
like
cool.
when they actually say that, like, there was no body, well, from anyone that remembers, Obadiah, he became the Iron Forge in
Ironmonger, wasn't it?
Ironmonger. Yeah, sorry, the
Yeah, that's right.
Ironmonger
Ironmonger.
in Iron Man, and so he was killed, and they had to cover it up, obviously, and said that he'd kind of left, but to find out that Joe, who became Zeke, or Ezekiel Stain, it kind of explained where he got his technology, or where he would have got his resources from. Yeah,
So he's very wealthy, Joe.
but
Uh,
obviously
yeah.
Parker becomes interested in him, especially after realizing that Riri hasn't been honest with him about things, and like when he realizes that she's responsible for why John died.
So with touching on that, with how John died. So I think it was at the end of episode 3. They did a
Yeah.
big heist to rip off this company, but Riri wanted to find out what Parker's cloak is made of.
Yeah,
She wanted to know what's going on. And she took some technology from Joe, and she accidentally left it behind, to where Joe got found out
Trapped,
to be...
yeah.
Yes. So he got arrested and sent to jail, and then Parker visited him, because Parker's power is he can go invisible, and he can bend bullets.
yeah,
Which
that
I don't-
was
I don't-
nuts.
I don't know how that works, but okay. So he goes visit him, gets him out of jail, and then he kind of wants to upgrade Joe.
And
But does he have a
provide-
nickname, or is he just called? Was it called Zeke? Or
Well, Joe becomes Zeke.
yes, okay,
Because Joe was a name he adopted to hide his identity.
yeah, okay, yep. And with his upgrades, I was very when you first see his powers, because Zeke gets upgraded and he has electric powers. It kind of reminisced of Whiplash.
Yeah, and like, but the fact that he's so easily controlled.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which does that play into people's fear of AI?
Yeah, well, yeah, I reckon it would.
Because
Yeah.
Parker has whole control over Zeke.
That's right, and obviously this is all coming from the hood, but like obviously over time you see that this hood is actually breaking Parker down, and Parker, in such a lust for power, wants more and more, and is kind of losing control, and then basically that's where we meet Mephisto.
Yes. And as you pointed out, who plays Mephisto? What was the actor again?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, he's Ali G, isn't he?
Ali G, Borat.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so. When I first saw him, I was like, I couldn't figure out his name. I'm like, God, that guy looks familiar.
And he's a great dramatic actor too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's a great world-class comedian, but he's a great dramatic actor.
And with his addition to magic to the Marvel, well, the Marvel world's not obviously adverse to magic as Doctor
No.
Strange, and so we get glimpses of that
Yeah, but
within the film too.
yeah, and I was interested.
The show.
Upon the point where obviously they kept referencing things that were brought up and introduced in the world of Doctor Strange,
Yes.
and like Karmatage and Dormammu.
Yeah,
Because we saw Doctor Strange go up against Dormammu,
That was funny.
and how he bent time, and Caecilius, who is the wizard that Doctor Strange went up against, or sorcerer, and so all these different references. I thought, oh yeah, I remember that, And because, like, obviously you don't necessarily have had to have seen previous stuff before this. They do a bit of a explainer kind of on things, but there's a lot of magic that's brought up here that I
Yeah.
just thought there's sorcerers in this world in Chicago that have not revealed themselves, and like again, they were kind of close to Riri, and Riri wasn't aware of it at all.
Well, to Riri's mother, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Riri's mother's got this friend who works at a sweet shop.
and her daughter.
Yeah. Oh, and her daughter and her Riri's mother's friend's daughter and her mother's friend know magic.
That's right.
So a lot of people know magic in this world, which is very interesting.
And it's just
But-
like
yeah.
the forces of either evil, the influence of Mephisto, and then the power of magic. You know, it made me start asking, like, what's this going to lead to?
Yeah, exactly. What are we gonna? What other characters? Well, I did a little bit of digging on Mephisto because I was like, "Who is Mephisto? I've never heard of this guy in the Marvel world. How is he like a villain?" But apparently, he's a very powerful villain
He's got
within
different
the
names
Marvel
too.
world.
Different names.
Yeah,
too,
well, he's
Mr.
like
Sinister.
Yeah,
And-
he's basically
yeah.
the devil.
Yeah,
So, and he's actually is he a sort of a creation of Ghost Rider?
he's in that world.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
might even get a sort of a Ghost Rider boot up, maybe.
Well, yeah, I think anything's possible, especially going into like Secret Wars or Doomsday. I mean, this could get very dark.
And they did touch on that within the series, which, if you watch the last episode after Riri implements magic into her suit,
That's right.
which then destroys Natalie.
Yeah, which is her AI,
Yeah.
and that's when we see Riri meet with Mephisto, and like Mephisto kind of offers her opportunities that she's never had before,
No.
and then suddenly, you know, Natalie is alive again,
Yes,
and
because when Mephisto, he said to her, "What do you desire most?" Which is a very well played line
yeah,
within Lucifer, the TV show Lucifer. He says that all the time too, because he's the devil.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. That was very clever.
but it's a double-edged sword too, because it's kind of like, I'll give you whatever you desire, but there's a cost.
Yes,
Yeah.
magic has a cost.
Yeah, and like
And-
obviously, I had to ask. You know, it's like you're implementing magic into her suit. It's like, so how much of the suit is, you know, like controlled by Riri, and how much is magic? You know,
Exactly. Who knows? I
and
don't
then
know.
obviously, what's it going to present with her, with the added influence of the Hood and Mephisto?
Exactly. Who knows? Because at the end of episode 6, because we're in spoilers, Riri takes Mephisto's not agreement, but she wants Natalie back
Yeah,
because she missed her, because she's gone. Her AI got destroyed, and she just wants her back, and so she takes a deal with Mephisto.
yeah, and we see
And then
Natalie, who's played by Lyric Ross, and she's basically returned from the night that she originally died.
Yep.
And so when we first see her, Riri's just so happy to see her. She's still thinking that Natalie is her AI,
Yes.
but then she realizes that Natalie's alive, and Natalie says, "Where's Gary?" So
Yeah.
Natalie, she's got no memory, obviously, of any of the events of the series, because she's returned from the night she died.
Yeah. Yeah. So that could, if they do another season, it'll probably play off that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, what's the cost of bringing her back too?
Yeah. And exactly. And then what does that mean for Riri herself? Because she's not obviously not a hero then,
No, and like
in my
obviously,
opinion.
yeah, throughout the series, she's basically been dubbed a criminal.
Exactly. With this second half of Ironheart, I think was the better.
Yeah, much stronger.
So it took it from a mid, and it took it slightly above mid because with the fight between Riri and Parker, when she's like, "Give me that hood," his whole face changes to like a demon looking,
Yes.
and I was like, "Whoa, okay, okay." I was getting excited. I was like, "This is great." That was a great transformation, and it shows you what the evil was doing to him, and
Yeah.
it just changed who he was. And the projection of that was fantastic, but they did it. They needed more. I felt
Yeah, it's like...
with that.
Do you think it could feel like it was losing, and it's like, you know, to unleash the real darkness within the power of the hood when he was going up against Riri?
Yeah, yeah. You could see the desperation, and when she takes it off him, oh, you could just see it lift
Yeah.
off him, and he's like an addict. He wants it back because he just wants the power.
Yeah, and he's expressing he's in pain from being without
Yeah.
it.
But we're not done with Parker.
No. Not at
No.
all.
Because Parker finds Riri's friend, which I forgot her name, but she finds the store.
That's her friend was Zelma. Yeah, Zelma.
Okay, yeah, yep, Selma.
Played by Regan Aaliyah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Parker finds her at their shop, and he wants magic. And that's where we're kind of left.
That's it. It's like an open ending. Yeah.
So the interpretation is this: like, Ironheart itself is a decent series. It's not as terrible as what people are making it out to be. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst.
No.
It could mean if they do another season, they need to flesh out more things. But if they don't,
definitely.
I feel like Riri's just going to be a person they might off
Yeah.
later on. I don't know.
I just think that Disney, I mean, it's obviously well made. It's like, obviously they put a lot of resources into the show, but like I just think that the timing of it. I mean, again, like when it was first advertised and introduced, I think that they had a lot coming up against it.
Yeah.
And once it was released, again, I think the timing was way off.
Yeah.
Like, way off. And
Yeah.
that detracts a lot of people's attention away from what should be a well-received series. And so...
Exactly.
Then people just think, oh, it wasn't successful. Well, of course, it wasn't as successful as they hoped because it's not getting the attention it should have got. Like,
And all the attention it's getting is worse.
Yeah, because all the promotion for it was all bogged down by Superman. And it should have had its own week. It should have had its own whole run of promotion, everything thrown at it. But it was all bogged down and kind of pushed to the side. So
This should have been released straight after Thunderbolts.
yeah, I mean, it should have had its own run of time and promotion.
A week after Thunderbolts, they should have released it.
Yeah,
But they're so pushing everyone to go see Thunderbolts, they wanted to hold it off. But look what happens.
yeah, the marketing definitely been sour.
Yeah. All right. So overall, as a show, what would you rate the show?
Yeah, I think 3 out of 5. Like, obviously, it definitely had a lot it had to measure up against, of course. But yeah, I mean, obviously being left open-ended, I think there's a lot more we're going to see of these characters.
Yes.
What
I
about
hope so. Well, as coming off of what you said, I hope they need a second season.
Yeah.
And they need to flesh it out. And if they do a second season, you need to put all your money in the bag.
Yeah.
But for me, this is a 4.
A 4?
A 4 because
Yeah.
it's below average. But the second half was the best part. But you can't just. But putting it all together, it's a 4. If it was the same style as the second half with the first half, it'd be tough to like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, like the open endings kind of just... Yeah. a lot of questions not answered, and
No.
yeah,
But it is okay to watch. I recommend people watch it if you're into diving into Marvel. It is a good addition,
yeah.
but it's just still there's nothing that's just that nothing's yeah.
It does
hitting it
leave a
just
lot
right
of
now.
questions, obviously, and then
Yeah.
obviously in this year that Marvel has released Captain America, Thunderbolts, this, I mean, the connectivity of it as well, and the timeline, where it sits in the timeline. What's it going to mean for these characters? Are we going to see more of Mephisto? Is he going to become this all-powerful being in the Marvel universe? Especially with Doomsday, is he going to reveal himself?
I
Who knows?
think that's what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
I think Mephisto's going to have a big influence on Doctor Doom.
Yep.
So, but we'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
All right, folks. Well, that rounds out our Ironheart review. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Kev.
If not a problem, buddy. And if everyone's made it this far, thank you so much. Please check out our Facebook page, Instagram, all our socials, and give us a rating. Tell us your thoughts. Have you seen this show? Did you like it or did you hate it? Let us know.
Yeah, give us your opinions. Like us on YouTube. We're crossed over to the dark side, Kev, with video, and but we're gonna keep bringing out more content for you guys. And as always, we thank you for all your support along the way, and yeah, there's plenty more to come.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Until next time. See you in the next one.
See ya.